Welcome to Vogt Toolworks. I'd like to present the Vogt drill press fence / bandsaw fence. I find the stock metal table on my drill press to be very nice because I'm raising and lowering it all the time for the work that I do, which is medium to smaller size work, making jigs and fine parts for them. It's very useful, and I like that basic table because it's so solid. Unlike a piece of plywood, there's no give. So many cases I just put pieces on here and I'm happy to drill away. But as we know, you need a fence quite often. And I have in the past used any number of shop-made plywood fences. You would have a platform and then you route guides for the fence to move on. But it added so much weight and I didn't feel like it was satisfactory for my needs. And for years now I've been using a fence in my shop and someone said to me, you know, you have a marketable fence there. This is great. Well, this is what I've come up with. It utilizes these very powerful 150 pounds per magnet mag jigs. And this is not going to move on you if you're using woodworking bits. This is very strong and locks right in. There's plenty of forward and back. It's got a semicircular cutout, so you get a lot of purchase there. And the beauty of using these mag jigs is that there's no creep whatsoever. When you tighten down, for example, an F-clamp or tighten something down from underneath, that can introduce error. Just that little fractional pull, but you have none of that at all on this. It's a solid beam made of Europly and these two mag jigs. The front bearing surface is bamboo, and it has a series of sliding stops and some optional stops that we'll talk about. So one common drilling situation is you want to do a stopped hole, in this case 3/8 of an inch from this edge and 1 1/8 inches from that edge. And you mark with your pencil and square, make a dimple, then you take a center punch like this and you bring your fence over to it. And the Vogt drill press fence does this superbly. Now you're going to need, if you want to, you could go ahead and drill, change out this for a drill, and drill your hole. And there's another way to go about that, using stops. So my next example will give you that. The sliding stops have these, again, mag jigs, the mag jig 150s, and they work on this tool steel plate on the top of the beam. So when you turn this, it locks it very firmly in position. And the stops themselves are 1/2 inch Europly that are screwed in with the cap screws, and they are great for establishing multi-use drilling. So if I have a piece and it's equidistant from either end, I can come in and drill one that way, slide it over, and drill the other. And these slide beautifully, very tight tolerance at the same time, easy to take off just like that, because you don't always need stops. So now we're down to a minimum situation. Another situation that you're going to encounter obviously is drilling through holes, and that's our next segment. When you drill through holes in a piece, you want to support the back so you're not going to tear it out, and you want to have a supporting piece like this 3/4 inch scrap plywood. And that's fine to do that with any piece. But if it has to be a given distance and you want to use stops, there's going to be interference between the stop in this case. It goes all the way down to this table, which is an advantage in some cases, but it's going to interfere at certain distances. You can see it's contacting that. So what to do in these situations where I want to have a stop that's going to clear the sacrificial platform underneath it. One thing that can be done is you can rip this down so that it will just clear the sacrificial table. You can have a full one and then just back off those cap screws and put this one in that instance. That's one way to go about it. One of the options for the Vogt drill press fence is this auxiliary platform or table, and it's got cup magnets, 4 of them, on the underside, which allow you to put it on the table and leave it in a precise place. It's not going to move around on you, and yet it's not so held down that you can't easily adjust it. I find it really useful for holes that I drill routinely over and over, hundreds, maybe thousands of times. It's amazing because I can adjust this to be right where my drill enters it. And I have used this same hole perhaps thousands of times. I just bring and scotch the table around until I get it exactly where I want it. And then it's there, and I can drill down, and this will be my support platform. I find it very useful also for through holes in conjunction with my basic fence and stops. And I'll show you how I have another optional sliding stop that works and can clear whatever sacrificial table that you put on there. So I designed adjustable sliding stops for a case where you can put a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch material under there, and it's not going to interfere with these. These can clear it. So in this case, I have this a set distance that I want to bring the stop over to, and I'm reusing the same hole that I've used hundreds of times, and I'll just bring this over, and now I can set my stop just like that. And if it were a 3/4 inch sacrificial table, then this would clear it too. Just to repeat, you don't have to use these. You can use the basic stop and trim it down so it will clear 3/4 inch piece. An optional item are these sliding stops. And once you have these, you won't want to live without them. Just to wrap up about the Vogt drill press fence, I want to say that it's rugged, precise, it's lightweight, easy to handle, requires no mounting hardware, no screws or bolts or anything like that, locks down, and then can be removed and easily stored, and allows you to have free access to your basic table, which can be raised and lowered so quickly without the weight of a plywood mass on top of it.